Hello YouTube, my name is Sarah if you didn't know, and today's situation is going to be ways that you can celebrate the holidays even though things are different. To begin, this is going to be probably a corny video and one of those moments where you're just like, everything doesn't have to be positive, and that's definitely not what I'm trying to do, is like push positivity where it doesn't need to be. But I also think that COVID has changed a lot for a lot of people, and where I live, we are still dealing with it. We still have restrictions. We still can't see a bunch of people, and this year has been hard on everybody, and there's a time and a place to totally feel those emotions, and I think we've been living in that time and place for a long time. But for myself, I know that the longer I dwell in negativity, the longer it takes me to recover from it. Some people, there is no positivity in the situation of the world, but I want to believe that some of us can find that positivity. So anyhow, that's my intro. Moral of the story is, I'm not trying to push positivity, but I also think that there needs to be more positivity, as COVID is very negative and we've all lost. Things have changed. I just hope that there's at least one thing in here that can help you have a good holiday, regardless of how you're celebrating it. You know, take this all with a grain of salt, and definitely comment down below how you plan to celebrate your Christmas, and hopefully you can just stay positive. I do not mean any harm by doing this video. Let's get into it. So my first tip would be to splurge on yourself, and that can mean a lot of different things for everybody. For myself, that means that I'm going to find time to get a massage in the next couple weeks, and that's going to be like the big Christmas gift to myself. I think after like a year of all of this craziness, and you know, some people have spent a lot of time by themselves, I think it is so important to love yourself and learn how to treat yourself right. So I think something that you can do over the holidays is to splurge in whatever way that means, within reason. Doesn't always mean spending a ton of money, but if you have the spare money, buy yourself something nice. Treat yourself to a nice dinner. Go for a nice long drive. There are ways to splurge on yourself and to treat yourself good and right now, and I think that's more important than ever. More into that. My second tip would be to do a staycation in your city. Me and my boyfriend did this a couple weeks ago. We just booked a hotel that had good safety measures, was clean, was reputable, and it was amazing to get out of our houses for just a night, and it was so much fun. It almost felt normal. Like, I know that things weren't normal, and I think that's something really important, is to change your scenery. So if you have the money or the ability, book an Airbnb or go camping if it's still warm where you live, or book a hotel, or just any way to change the scenery that you've been living in for nearly a year. My third idea would be to do a Secret Santa. Me and my family this year are very likely not going to see all of each other because of the restrictions that we have. There is like 10 of us in our family, and that's a lot of people. Y'all kind of know what a Secret Santa is, but we use the website Elfster, which is really simple and easy to use. I will link it down below, and we just got the names of whoever we're buying for, and it's super fun because we can still exchange gifts. We're not spending a bunch of money on so many people that some of us don't have right now, and we still get to have a little bit of fun, whether we end up mailing our gifts or dropping them off at each other's houses. I am excited to do this with my family, and I think it'd be fun for anyone else to do with their friends or coworkers or family members. Or a Secret Santa, I think, is a good idea to still be excited about gift shopping, still get to kind of interact with your family or friends or whoever it may be, even though it's different. My fourth idea would be to donate to a shelter or charity that's local to you, or to volunteer there in some capacity. I know that not every shelter or anything of that nature is allowing volunteers, but if there is a place where you can go and do something for someone else, or even if you just see someone who is panhandling or whatever it may be, I think actually giving to them, if you don't regularly do so, is a really great way to feel the holidays. Like, to me, the holidays is about giving and the time you spend with people, and if you can extend that grace and kindness to somebody who is currently suffering beyond the pandemic, I think that would be amazing. And I've had a couple interactions already this holiday where I've been able to give money, give clothing to people who are homeless or struggling, and it felt nice that even though I myself am not doing amazing, I don't have a ton of money, but I do have a home I can live in, I do have food that's here for me, I do have a job, therefore I am lucky and I'm privileged, and it made me feel really good to be able to give back. If you can this year, more than ever, donate your time, money, energy, or anything you possibly can to people who are worse off. So tip 5 is to invest in yourself this year, whether that be to open an RRSP, a tax-free savings account, or anything like that. I personally do not know a lot about these things, so a gift to myself is that I would like to understand them and have them open and in place if they're right for me by the new year. I think we all see that without having a safety net or some sort of money, something like a pandemic or losing your job or having to move can drastically affect you, and I think I'm going to be a lot more prepared going forward when it comes to money than I used to be. And again, this is coming from a point of privilege where I have a job and I can still do these things for myself. But if you can, I encourage you more than ever. Number 6 is, if you are still celebrating Christmas, I think a great way to do all of your shopping this year is local. And I know that we're trying to stay out of stores and stay out of places where people work, but the reality is people still work in retail, they still work at your local grocery stores, they still own their own businesses, and if you can safely shop there, I highly encourage you to do so. Online ordering is great for safety, but at the same time, a lot of our local economies are suffering in different ways, and if you can get in there and do a curbside pickup, do an online order from a specific local store, if you can get in there safely with masks and social distancing, I highly encourage you to celebrate Christmas that way instead of, buying on Amazon, which, let's not even get into that, but definitely check out local and find ways to support the people in your community right now, as I really think that is important. So tip number 7 is that if it's still warm or comfortable outside for you, I really encourage you to keep doing stuff outside and to keep seeing your friends and family outside safely. Stuff like going on a nice walk, a bike ride, maybe you meet up at a dog park, maybe you go play a sport where you don't have to touch, like disc golf or regular golf, or maybe you have a campfire, but there's just still so much to do outside, and I highly encourage you to keep doing that if it's safe where you live and it's allowed. I think another great way to celebrate this holiday would be to reflect on better times. It's always nice to remind yourself that a bad situation doesn't last forever, and so a great way to do that, I think, would be to ask all of your family members or all of your friends to write out, whether that be on paper or email, their favorite memory from their holidays or from just a regular time of year, and send it to each other, whether that be through text, email, or mail. I think reminding each other of the best memories that we share is a wonderful way to celebrate this year. I also think watching like home videos or looking at old pictures, if you have access to those, is another great way. So overall, just reflecting on the good times that you have had and remembering all the wonderful memories you have with the people in your life. I this year will be asking my parents to tell me about my first Christmas. Obviously, when I was born, I was a baby like the rest of us, and I don't remember a lot of my Christmases beyond the age of maybe like 7 or 8, and I'd love to know more about our good memories together. So I will be asking my family, especially my parents, to tell me about some of their times and their stories, and I think now is a great time to hear about people's history and your own family history and actually get in spirit of connection and talking with those that you love. Instead of being focused on the gifts, we can be focused on our stories and memories, and I think that's a beautiful thing. 8 is to find a place in your city that still is very festive. Where I live, there is stuff like Christmas lights at the zoo, which is outside. We have a Christmas market with a bunch of beautiful lights. There are people who set up extravagant lights and shows at their home that you can drive by and see. There are still shops that are putting up their decorations. So wherever you can find something like that, I really encourage you to go just take a walk or a drive by and appreciate the hard work and effort that people are still putting into decorating. I always think those are really nice, so it'd be cool if you could get out and do that if you do have that opportunity. My next tip is that if you enjoy baking, I highly encourage you to still do lots of baking and just bring it to people's houses. If you're able to drive or somehow get to somebody's house, that you can safely deliver them food, I think it's still a great time to do that. Another thing I really like about the holidays is playing games. So take the games online. There are lots of online games that you can play with people, whether that be over Zoom or certain websites or competing in apps. I definitely don't think we should lose the fun of Christmas and not play any games, so I really encourage you to find a way to play games with your family or your friends or anything like that so that there's still fun happening. Finally, I also think it would be great to just Zoom and watch a movie at the same time as somebody. Every year, my brother and sister-in-law and my nephews and anyone else in my family that's with us, we always watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. So if I'm not with them this year, I really hope that we can FaceTime and watch these movies at the same time. It's not nearly as fun, but it's nice knowing that you are still kind of watching together. So those are all of my ideas of how we can still celebrate Christmas and feel the connection and feel the excitement, and hopefully some of them are stuff that you can execute to improve your holiday. Again, I want to reiterate that for me this year, I have really learned that I love the people in my life and I wish I could see them more, and I regret the times I didn't take more time to see them. And it's really easy for us to continue being negative about the situation that we're in and saying, I don't get to see my family, so this sucks. But there are still ways to connect with the people that you love, and there's still ways to enjoy this holiday, no matter how different it looks for you. And if you really actually don't have any positivity in this holiday, I'm very sorry to hear that, and I hope that people are generous and giving in a world where everything feels so bad. I hope that we can find a way to put positivity into it, whether that be our time, energy, money, food, and I do plan on continuing to donate in my community to the people that are less off than me. And let's all hope that next year is a regular Christmas. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you are enjoying my 12 Days of Christmas, make sure to let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.